My friends, it's Michelle Cunningham. Okay. Like, I'm really excited because my friend Angela Brooks, she's here. And like, what's so crazy about her is she's just literally like the sweetest little lady ever. You would think she like just sits home and like knits, because maybe she does. But she's also the sweetest lady ever, and she has built an incredible empire. And you're gonna just love her. You will get it when you see her. You'll be like, oh my gosh. So I'm gonna just tell you her background, and then I'm gonna bring the sweetest lady ever on, and you're going to fall in love with her. So Angela Brooks lives in Kentucky with her husband and two boys. She's a high school dropout who went on to college to become a nurse. She joined network marketing after hitting the glass ceiling in the hospital, and she was there for 25 and a half years with no raise the last 8 years of employment. Isn't that how it works? While she was working full time, she learned how to use power hours to run a part-time business and one of the top 1% leaders in her company with, get this, 14,000. She has 14,000 reps on her team globally. Not just like 14,000. Okay, did you hear that? And she actually retired from nursing after 30 years of being a nurse, and she has a full pension. And so she has authored 2 books, and she is a blogger, and she is the LinkedIn queen of connections. I said to her, I don't even know how to log into LinkedIn. And her response was, it's the place to be because I don't know anything about it. She's going to teach us today. So this is really good. Who's excited, right? I'm super excited about LinkedIn if you're excited. But she basically shows women simple steps to build a business alongside their busy life with their family and their jobs and their kiddos. And so, are you ready? Say, I'm ready. I'm bringing her on right now. Boom.
I'm so excited.
I'm so happy you're here.
I was like, who is she talking about? That is such a cool intro.
You sound like a really big deal, and you are a big deal. Isn't she? She's so sweet, isn't she? Don't you want to squish her? I love Angela. What's interesting is I actually met Angela in person. We went to a retreat, an all-girls retreat called the She Network, run by Taylor Thompson, and Angela was one of the friends that I met there. There was probably like 15 women, and it was just so great to become your friend. You're amazing.
I'm so glad that we did that in February because we didn't know what was coming in March.
Literally, like I was thinking that was my last trip, like my last hurrah. And I was like, thank goodness we went to Florida and had a blast, right?
Had a good time because it's like, I'm ready to travel. I'm ready to go.
I know. I'm starting to itch too. And I'm like, there's still a global pandemic. In my head, it's like over, and it's not.
It's over for me. I'm done.
Yeah. The logic is like, maybe it is over. Maybe this is just, I don't know what to think anymore. So fill us in. Tell us about your LinkedIn secrets. We have 30 minutes, 27 minutes for you to unload your amazingness.
Well, I've got notes. So if I'm looking over here, it's keep me on track.
Okay.
Let's say I've been on LinkedIn for a very long time. However, I didn't really use it like everybody else because I thought it was like a job hunting place, and I didn't want another job. I didn't need another boss. And so I flew out to San Diego to speak, totally different topic, and ended up meeting a guy who was a LinkedIn king. I mean, we were having conversations after the event that we talked until probably 1 or 2 in the morning.
Who was it?
I can't tell you his name.
Okay. I'm thinking of Lewis Howe. Lewis Howe was the only guy that I knew.
No, I would love to talk to Lewis.
Right? No kidding. I met him once in an event years ago, but he went on to become a guru.
Yeah. He's expensive to talk to. I've tried, but I'm not finished.
I'll mute my line so you have better audio, so I'll just pop it out.
But this guy, he was teaching at the event about LinkedIn, and he was telling me things that I'd never heard before because it was kind of like, oh, just another social media platform. Don't we all need another one of those? And so we started talking about the details of how to make it pop. And I'm like, okay, talk to me. How much does it cost? I need your time. And he was giving me the inside secrets that after I got to looking, nobody does it. Like literally nobody does this. So the first thing I did was, number one, redid my profile picture because it was terrible and it was old. And so I updated my image because most people it's okay to have your phone images, but they just need to be a good, clear picture, not with your kids, your cats, your dogs, or your company, any of that stuff. And your profile header starts telling your story. That, if you've been in any kind of marketing at all, you know that your your headlines is what makes people stop the scroll and to see what you have to say. And so I had to go in and really do some new content on my page, which I still had things for nursing like CPR and CPI certified, and nobody even knows what that is. So I took those things off and I started filling out my profile to match who I am, where I've been, what I've done. Why am I losing my voice? Because somebody needs to hear this. But I started doing my profile for what I've done now, even down, the certifications, the classes that you finished. Anybody who has finished any of your classes or courses, Michelle, they can list that in their profile because you're a video expert and they need to know that they've got training for that. And most people don't claim what they know. I didn't. I think we're all guilty of that. But I started changing my profile so that it was listing what I do, not just what I have for sale. And, the first headline in our LinkedIn profile is 240 characters, and you can use keywords. Keywords on LinkedIn are powerful. Twitter started the hashtags. That's where we all started learning to do hashtags. LinkedIn is really, really big on hashtags. So your keywords in your profile headline is what people are going to be already searching for, and that's how they find you. And so who are you? What do you offer? And who do you serve? This is going to change quite often as your business grows and changes. Clearly your world has changed in business, so you would have to update yours. But who is it that you serve? And who is it that you're looking for that would stop the scroll and go, she's my girl? Who is it that I want to chat with? And it's her. So another thing you get to do right underneath your headline is a place to write your story. And it's like 2,500 or 33,000 characters that you can write an amazing story. So this is where people goes, okay, you stopped to scroll. You've got my attention. Now let me see who this is. And you tell your story. Most people freak out that they look at me and they're like, you've been in nursing for 30 years. And I'm like, yeah, I started when I was 2. But I actually started when I was 21. And it was not a career for income. It was for a job. And so after a while, you hit the glass ceiling long enough and you get a bruise on your head and you're tired of hitting it. You want something else. And so that's what I told in my story on LinkedIn is how I hit the glass ceiling. There was no raises for 8 years in nursing. The job was the same. I was driving the same amount of miles. I was using the same amount of gas to get to work, but the income wasn't raising. So I hit that 20-year mark. And that's where I started learning social media and different things to actually build a business. So write a ridiculously good story. Use your personality. I literally write the way I talk. Sometimes that's not a good thing, and I'll have to go edit things, especially being country as I am. But you have to tell your story and not be so corporate-y, because people can't relate to that. They want real people that have real intentions and somebody to connect with. So do a good photo, fill out your headline, because most people don't have, they'll have the name of their company in their headline, which we don't want nobody to know. That's in conversation that you're going to do. And then write a ridiculously good summary about who you are, what it is that you're doing, who that you serve, and give yourself credit for the places that you speak. When I started adding the stages that I have spoke on, that got people's attentions. Not everybody has spoke on Ray Higdon's stage. And it's kind of like, I need to put that out there. I was super proud of that. And then I flew out to San Diego and I spoke on Tom Challen's stage, and flew to Vegas and spoke with Tom and Kim again in the same year. I was like, I was good enough for them to come back, so it needs to be in my profile. But yeah, give yourself credit for, I've shared the stage with Gary Vaynerchuk, and I didn't even give myself credit for that. I was like, I'm the only one that knows that. So you got to tell your stuff. So in your keyword search, that's something you're going to have to take a little bit of time to do on LinkedIn. When I type in nurse, nurses, nursing, retired nurses, we're talking millions of people. And so when somebody tells me they don't have anybody to talk to, it's like, it's just because you're not looking, because they're in front of you. And trust me, after the situation we're in right now, nurses are looking for something part-time. Not saying that they all want to get out of nursing, but they don't want to do their overtime in nursing. I know I didn't. So start looking for who you are. You're looking for people just like you. So I started looking for retired nurses first, which was only a couple of million of people to talk to. That would take me a day or two to get through. And then I started looking for nurses looking for opportunities. That's a big search. That's huge for whatever it is that you're doing. If you are looking for people who are looking for opportunities, you're going to find them. I think that was 8.2 million yesterday. So when you say you don't have anybody to talk to, you start conversations with those people. And I have, of course, I do a lot of things on my phone. I'm sure, oh, that's my pup. A lot of things that are in, what is it called, where you save your shortcuts on your phone. So you can do a presentation with a shortcut so you can get through a lot of people. I know that's a whole nother topic, but do your presentation so that when you're jumping through all of those different people, you can get a conversation started like with 10 people a day, literally talking to 10 people a day. I just did a video with my group this morning, and they were fussing because they hadn't got anybody to talk to. And I'm like, how many are you reaching out to? One, maybe two. There you go. You got to talk to at least 10 to 20 people a day, physical conversations. So, oh, another thing is when you're getting started on LinkedIn, you're going to your settings, and there is a place for you to personalize your vanity URL. Everybody wants to think of a cute, fancy name for your business, and you can have one of those if you want to. But if I meet you at an event, like I met Michelle at an event, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to type in her name. I'm going to see what pops up. The coolest thing about LinkedIn is that Google and LinkedIn are first cousins. They are like the best of friends. So it is actually the most viewed social media searches in Google. So if you have your profile set up and it's working for you, and somebody comes in and they do a search for Michelle Cunningham, your LinkedIn is going to be first. You can go check that out. You just go Google yourself and see what comes up, because that's always pretty cool. But make sure you have your first and last name in your vanity URL instead of your business name. You can have your business name in your header, in your banner, in your content, wherever, but you want your first and last name on LinkedIn, because that's how people's going to remember you if they have lunch with you, if they meet you at the airport or at Walmart, wherever. That's how they're going to meet you, is, hey, my name is Michelle, and they're going to go Google you and they can find you. Say, hey, I'm on LinkedIn. They may not remember that cute, fancy name, so make sure you have your name on there.
So can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
So you say, you made a joke, you get 1 million people, you can go through those in a few days. So, you're joking, right? But you have this unlimited amount of people. What does it look like for Angela to reach out to someone? Like, you just found me on LinkedIn, I'm a fellow nurse, or whatever you were looking for. What's your first message to me?
Very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to your physical profile, and I'm going to read your stuff. See if there's anything that I can start a conversation with. Then I'm going to send you a message. Well, first of all, you're going to get a notification from LinkedIn saying that I was on your page. LinkedIn notifies everybody that touches your profile. So you're getting views without actually having a conversation. So you're going to see that I went and checked out your page, and then you're going to see me show up in your messages. Say, hey, Michelle, I just was reading on your profile and I noticed you're a video expert. I would love for you to come and talk to my team. Are you open to do interviews? Or, whatever kind of conversation that you want to start with that person. But you read their profile, that gives you your conversation. And I think LinkedIn does it way better than Facebook, because you can go and creep on people's profiles all day long, but you won't know that anybody's been there. Every single time you go to somebody's profile, it pops up.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
So you build these relationships. So obviously you'd have me on as a speaker, but let's say it's just a nurse, someone that you wouldn't have on as a speaker. Where do you take that conversation?
Perfect. This morning, I had a lady that is still working full-time as a nurse. And I said, hey, I just noticed that you were also a nurse. I've been retired for 5 years. How's things going for you? I know things are kind of crazy in the hospital world right now. Conversation, poof, because she's going to tell me all about her experience at the hospital. I didn't have to say a lot. I just had to listen. And she was talking about her frustrations. And I'm like, I don't know if this is for you or not, but I've got a link that I can send you if you're open to it. If not, no big deal. Where I talk to women around the globe, just like you, that still want to work a full-time job, but have something part-time at home if that's not working for you anymore. And she was like, send me whatever you got. And I was like, okay. So I told her, I said, I've got to go talk to this group today. I was telling her about doing this. And I said, I'll reach back out this afternoon. She says, perfect. I'll be off work. She was at work on LinkedIn.
Funny.
Yeah.
So, gosh, that's so interesting. And you have this magic link you send to people. What is that magic link? I know there's some network marketers are watching like, what's your magic link? Because I don't have that in my company. What does that look like for you?
I'm a blogger. So everything that I do, I drive traffic to my blog. And I just built a page, just wrote a page on my blog where I talk about what it is I do, why I do that, how I got into it. And then it just tells them about my products and my company. And I don't even use the company name on that page. But right now I'm focusing on women that are global because that's where my team is. They're global around this world. And I would say probably 88%, if not higher, of my team are women. So I do have some guys on there, just not as many. So that's who I focus on and then I will send them the link to a blog post. And so it's not a landing page. It's very soft. Hasn't been intimidating and people like it. It's got a video on there. And then it's got a lead capture because I believe in capturing as many people as possible to get them onto my email list.
So smart. So yeah, that's genius. And you don't say the name of your company. Would I have to ask you if I got to that page?
Yep. Well, actually, when you go in, if you go into the video and watch the video, of course, it's going to tell you there. If you get onto my email list, it tells you immediately there. So, but that's not, I don't want that company name to be triggered in keyword search because you have to follow. I mean, not that I'm not following their guidelines and their policies, but I don't want them to control my page. I want to control my page.
Yeah, it's so true. And I mean, it's just everything we teach with like curiosity posting and getting people interested. Like when you lead with your company, people, they come to you like this. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
But when you tell your story and share your story, people going, I can relate to that. But when you start with the company name, they're like, oh, you just want my Visa card. So
yeah. This is my little son in the background. He's doing his dinner. He's sitting so quietly in here. I'm like, it's fine. He's my the 5 love languages is his physical touch. He likes to like be near me.
He's a cuddler.
He's a cuddler. Okay, so go ahead. This is so good. I mean, this is amazing. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to put them in the comments.
I was trying to read some of the comments since I was talking to a nurse that wanted to make other. She was awesome. Signed up for business for leads. Cool deal. Want to do more on LinkedIn? Absolutely, Robin. You should do more on LinkedIn because another thing about Facebook is you have to, not that I'm still on Facebook, but it's so political right now. It's kind of like, can we please stop? And so you can go to LinkedIn and you have some politics over there, but it's more professional. The conversation is way better. And people are there looking for what you've got. Number one thing that I thought was interesting on LinkedIn is the average person has $75,000 income per year. You're talking to people that's not going to say, I don't have any money. They're going to say, I don't have any time. And I'm like, how long do you want to live your life with no time? And they're like, well, I can see I had a young boy, 25. He's still young. He's old as my son. And he was telling me how many hours a day he was working. It was like 14-hour days. And I'm like, is that the way you want to spend your life? You're young. You're not going to have time to do anything else. He says, but I love it. And I'm like, right now you do. And I'm like, but how much of that are you giving to your employer? And somebody says, do I pay for premium? No, I do not. I did test that. I tested it for 6 months. Premium is just, you just don't need premium. And I'll tell you why. Let me jump down here to publishing. Because I'm a blogger, this is what got my attention for the guy out in Vegas. Is it used to be called the Pulse of LinkedIn. That's where I got the name of my course about LinkedIn. The Pulse of LinkedIn years ago, actually only about 5 years ago, was an email list that every single time somebody published an article, at the end of the day, so like on Fridays, they would send out a mass email to everybody who was on LinkedIn, and you would get a copy of all of the articles that went live. Well, you could only be an article writer if you jumped through a certain hoops and LinkedIn approved you. Well, 3 years ago, they opened that opportunity up to every single person who has a LinkedIn account. So as a blogger, I'm like, yes, I'm in. That is my thing. You do a good banner image on your article. You write an article that's at least 600 to 1,000 words. Because if you write really short, you'll get no traction. I've tried both of them to see which one I get. And actually, the longer they are, the more people read them. And you can put direct links off of LinkedIn over to your blog. You can break it up with images in between your articles. And the funniest thing is only 3% of the people on LinkedIn use it. Every time you write an article and you hit publish, it goes in front of everybody that you're connected to. So I've got almost 6,000 people on LinkedIn. So that goes on everybody's profile or their reading page, whatever you want to call it. And they see my article. So you're going to get more traction with your writing than you will on Facebook. If I send, and actually I did it, I think it was Friday, which Friday's not a good day to post anything. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays are good days to post. But I posted something over on Facebook that got 0, not one like, not one comment. And I'm like, man, that's a good article. You just hurt my feelings. But that happens on Facebook. They squish it down, and LinkedIn does the opposite. You write an article, they put it in front of all your people. So I had 173 views within the first hour. I'm like, okay, so Facebook doesn't like my articles, LinkedIn does. And you can crisscross what I like, multi-marketing, write one good piece of content. I share it to Twitter, I share it to Pinterest, and I always share it to my LinkedIn page. So if you're a blogger or you like to write, but you don't want to build a blog, LinkedIn is your place, because this can be literally your web page. Because you know as well as I do, building a page, building a digital platform is not easy. And there's a lot of people that won't build on social media because they're like, I don't have a web page. LinkedIn can be your web page. You can write your articles, you can do your posts, you can connect with the right people. And it is just, that's where I've started sending my team to. If they come to me and they want to build a blog, I just tell them, don't. Just go to LinkedIn and start doing your articles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you on WordPress for
I
your
am.
blog?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. WordPress is complicated.
It is.
And
when I got started, I literally didn't know how to copy and paste, and I had to learn how to do that. I had to learn how to build a page versus write a post. And yeah, it's a lot. It's really a lot to keep up.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, we have 6 more minutes. Awesome.
Gosh, that went fast.
No, this always happens. I'm like, man. And you have your course too. I'll make sure I put a link for that because you do have a training on LinkedIn, right?
I do. And I'm always updating that. So when things pop up new, I'll go in and put a bonus in there so that they have this.
Yeah.
Something else that you can do on LinkedIn that's like a power tool is ask for recommendations. It's so much easier when people do the shouting and kudos is for you instead of you writing all about yourself. If you'll scroll, if you're on this, you can go to my LinkedIn. First of all, I want to connect with everybody that's here over on my LinkedIn. You scroll to the bottom of my profile and it will say recommendations. You can, if they've taken your course or my course, or they've heard our voice anywhere, they can go and write a recommendation of what they learned or what they thought of your presentation. And you get to approve or don't approve something that goes on your page. Recommendations are things that you can share snippets over on Instagram or Twitter or anything else. Somebody else's voice talking about you is always way better than you talking about yourself. But recommendations are huge. So
that's such good advice. Just jumping back to comments there.
how long are your articles? Articles, but 600. Marina was asking about how long the articles are, and 600 to 1,000. You know, some people don't say they can't write that long, but if you get on a topic that you enjoy writing, it's really easy to put out that many words.
Robin said, do you have some sample scripts?
I do. I have those in the course, but I'm going to tell you, the simplest script that you can write is just like we're talking right here. I think the biggest thing I like to ask people is, I don't post links until I ask somebody, would you be open if I shared a link with you? I've got several different, if I'm talking to nurses, I've got a script for that. But the biggest thing, I read the conversation that we're into and say, hey, I don't know if this is for you or not. Would you be open for me to sending you a link for a little bit more information? Because it explains it better than I can in text. I've never had anybody tell me, no, I don't want you to send your stuff after we've been conversating. It's so much easier. But I always ask and I get confirmation that they said it's okay first, and then I'll send the link.
Yeah.
And then follow up.
Yeah. You're so passive, and that's so what people love, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and then they go to your profile and they're like, whoa, this lady's a big deal, you know? And it's all really, really powerful.
Yeah, and that's how you build the connection, because I think people get in business and they put on this different hat, they put on different suits, and they try to be somebody they're not. And and that that's just something that I stopped doing, because when I was going to early events, I used to dress different than I did at home, and I'm like, I don't even know myself, so I stopped doing that.
That's funny. So true. Yeah, you're just lovable as you are, and I think for a lot of us that can be difficult, right?
Sure.
I used to be so hard for me because I didn't love maybe who I was, and once you start to love yourself and you realize I am awesome just like I am, like I could just be weird and quirky and sweet or kind, whatever you are. That's what sells mine, which is so interesting.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Tony said, do you have a training course for this? You do. Do you want to explain a little bit about what is in your training course?
Well, and the best way I can explain it is, a lot of people like to be handheld through something. It's like click here, and that's what I give you. You literally see my screen. I show you everything in settings that you need so that you get, most people's profiles are private and they don't even know it's private. Mine was. So I had to make everything public, and but I'll let everybody see my screen and I talk you through everything. So it's literally watch it, pause, do the action, start the video, so that you can get it set up. And then every single time there's a big shift or change, if you've bought the course, you log back in and there's the update. It's kind of like crazy, but I just think people deserve that, because I know I've bought tons of courses that was like, okay, that was so 2019. What about 2020? And I just keep updating just because.
That's amazing. So if anybody does want Angela's course, I just threw it on my site. You can click that link, thepulse.michellecunningham.com. That'll lead you right into her course. Angela, you're so smart. This is so good.
It was fun.
I was writing down your nuggets, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to go onto LinkedIn. So this is, I'm feeling this flutter in my heart, like, oh my gosh, another platform. But it sounds
you're
like
already doing it. Yeah, you're already doing the same actions. You're still connecting. It's just a better business platform.
Yeah, well, you're talking about higher quality leads, 75,000 and above. You said Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays are good to post.
Yes.
Yeah, I just took so many good little nuggets there. So So I love it. Yeah, I know mine is out there, but it has followers, but I haven't touched it. I don't know. It'd
And
be
you know, you can do every bit of your social media, especially I'm on LinkedIn less than an hour a day, period.
wow.
I go in 30 minutes in the morning while I'm drinking my morning coffee and answer comments and things that I had from yesterday. And then in the afternoon, usually, or lunch, whatever, I'll sit and do another half hour connecting with people, because you can connect with, 100 people easily in 30 minutes. Because
Wow.
you're just asking the question. You're just flowing. Turn everything off and get in your flow.
Yeah. Would you say that your network marketing company says do LinkedIn, or are you kind of different?
I'm the black sheep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind because it's working for me, and I have a lot of people from the company come and say, "Don't tell my upline, but I need to know this," and I'm like, "Yes, you do. She'll love you for it too."
Yeah. That's interesting.
Right.
Yeah. I know. I was a little black sheep too with YouTube. People are like, why are you wasting your time on YouTube? Like, I don't
Yep,
know. Bringing people to my company.
it's kind of, I like it. It's working for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's passive. It's great. Tira said, what event is at 1 p.m. today? It's 1 p.m. right now, Eastern time. So this was 1 to 1:30. This was the big event. So I don't know. It might be with different time zones everywhere. Well,
It's
thank you,
12:30.
Angela. I love you, my friend. Thanks for being on.
You're very welcome. I hope that helps. I hope to meet some of you people on LinkedIn, because it is the place. If Facebook wakes up tomorrow and they're having PMS and they turn off your account, you've got to be somewhere else. So, run your business like a gazelle. You've got to be able to switch and turn. Even though we may not feel comfortable, you've got to be somewhere else.
What's your LinkedIn profile? Can we
Who,
all go
me?
to you?
Absolutely. Angela Brooks, LinkedIn.com/Angela Brooks.
What is it? Linked.com
Linked, LIN. Okay.
/Angela Brooks.
Yep.
You even got your own name show. There it is. Link. Okay, everyone goes. We got to go stalk you now. We're going to see what you're doing.
Yeah, come hang out, because I post my articles over there. It's just fun.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love you, friend. Thanks for being
Okay.
on.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye.